Good morning. Procrastination. I'm pretty sure everybody has done it once in their lifetime. It's a good thing to do it at times, but not to make it a habit. Never do today what you can pull off till next week. I agree with this quote because sometimes if you try to cram a whole week's work into one day, it won't work out. For experience, I'm going to be talking school and work as my 2 points. For example, school, I was preparing to do a prepared presentation, but as you can see, I procrastinated the whole spring break, and now I'm here doing Impromptu. So I was taking my time. I was actually doing research on it, and then once it hit Tuesday, I just totally procrastinated the rest of the week. So that shows you procrastination is not a good habit, but I wasn't going to do the whole speech in one day either. So, yeah, don't do that. Don't procrastinate a lot, and don't cram everything into one day. I could also relate this into work. I used to work at a deli, and they used to put us into sections. And we closed at 10, and at 9 I'd usually start cleaning up so I could be out of there at 10. And sometimes I would procrastinate because it would just be too much work, and once I put it off till the last minute, I won't be out of there until 10:30. So, and I couldn't do it all in 10 minutes either. So it's very controversial about this. I feel like you should procrastinate at some point and then not do it a long time because it won't be good for you. In conclusion, I agree with this quote. Never do today what you can pull off the next week. You should definitely do your work and do your work at work too. But then again, let yourself loose. Don't do it all at once because you're just going to cram a lot of things in your head. Yeah.
I like that you start with the term, you kind of define it, that leads us to the topic, the quote that you've got, and your point of view, which I thought was all fine. You're in good shape there. There's a little bit of a preview, so you're doing good organizationally at the start of the speech. The personal example on the very first point, that works fine. This audience, I'm sure, can appreciate and relate to it. I'm sure there are probably other people in the class who are experiencing the same thing that you're talking about there. So you got a little bit of personal detail there. That example, of course, does go pretty quickly, and then you are talking about the work experience. And the work experience is also a pretty good illustration of the point, although I think you kind of got lost track of what it was you were trying to say about that experience. And so it doesn't really develop very well, and that's a little bit of a problem. Your facial expressions are actually animated, but your eye contact, you just look down. It's like you're looking in front of us instead of at us. And so you're not really engaging us, even though you smile and you see, and it seems like you've got some expressions of enthusiasm or enjoyment about the idea that you're talking about here and there. But you're talking in front of us, so you're not talking to us, and so that's when the idea of creating a sense of immediacy is involved, you really have to connect with people. And when you're talking through your eyelids and you're generally looking down, and your eyelids are facing us for the most part, that's a little bit of a problem. I thought that there were some pretty good gestures, but you do want to get the pen out of your hand. You don't need a baton, and that's a little bit distracting. The conclusion of the speech was a little less satisfying than the introduction. It just felt like you hadn't really figured out how you were going to finish, and it shouldn't be that complicated. Just go back and say, so as you can see, when it happens to you in school or it happens to you at work, sometimes procrastination works out for you pretty well. And remind us of the point that you're trying to make, and end that way instead of, and then just walking off stage. That doesn't work. All right, thank you.